And the more loyal and obedient you are to the tip of the iceberg rules, because you think the tip of the iceberg rules are the rules, when they are just some rules, which are not even the most important rules. They're just like the easiest rules to follow, or the easiest rules to see, to grasp. They're just the first rules you see when you look at it. When you look at a situation, the first thing you see is the most the first thing you see is the tip of the iceberg, right? Only if you dive deep you can see the fucking bottom of the iceberg. So the more loyal and obedient you are to the tip of the iceberg rules, to the obvious rules, to the level 1 rules, to the newbie rules, the harder it is for you to advance into the deeper rules, to the higher level rules. Because the higher level rules, apparently, from the point of view of the beginner, from the point of view of the lower level rules, the higher level rules, the deeper rules, they are wrong from that point of view, because they contradict, because they break the pattern of the obvious rules. It's like the beginning of a story or a movie, and how the rest of the movie just breaks completely the order that you're presented with in the beginning of a story. It's like a story structure. You have the beginning, then you have some situation arise that completely subverts the order you were presented with in the beginning. And it's a normal process of life, honestly. This not just the story structure or the process of a story unfolding. This is the process of life, because life is organized in that way. Like every hierarchy, by the way, not just life, but all the hierarchies in the real world are organized in such a way that the lower levels, the more you rise, the more the lower levels seem to be contradicted by the higher levels. So when you start learning how to write, for example, you learn that each letter has a sound and so and so. But as you move on and become like better at reading, you realize that that's not really true. That some letters have no sound in some situations, and some letters have more than one sound. And sometimes the same sound is written with different letters in different situations, different words. So you realize that the better you get at something, the more you understand those how to break the rules, how the rules are broken, how the beginner rules are inconsistent and broken and do not necessarily work in reality. Like they're just very loose guidelines that are definitely going to be insufficient. You realize how insufficient and uh, it, how the beginner rules are never going to be enough. You need better rules. You need more complex rules in order to execute anything. In this case, reading. If you read only following the basic rules of each letter has its own sound, you're not going to be able to read as well as someone who understands that rule does not apply all the time, and that there's actually deeper rules that contradict that rule, like the rules I just cited. Like there's letters there's letters that in some situations have no sound, and there's letters that have the same sound, and sometimes the same letter has different sounds. And to a beginner, that seems wrong, and that seems like cheating, like something that should not be allowed. But honestly, that's just because you're a beginner and you're attached to the lower level rules that are not effective enough. That are not able to deal with real life situations. Like real life situations are more complex than simple rules can grasp. So the simple rules, always remember that are simple rules. They are meant to be broken as you move up in the hierarchy of mastery of anything in this life, any skill, any situation, the beginner rules are going to be broken because they they were never meant to be the the end rules. They're just the starting rules. The end rules are way more complex.